From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, May 6th. Now, today, it's said to be kind of a rinse and repeat of yesterday's weather. In terms of the rain and storm activity, the difference this time around is we're going to be a little warmer today, especially in the southern half of the state. It'll be warmer from a lot of people, though, and that could open the door for some isolated stronger storms. Highs look to rise into the upper 60s. The sentencing for the man convicted of murdering a Southport police officer is today. Jason Brown faces up to 65 years in prison for killing Lieutenant Aaron Allen in 2017. Police say Allen was trying to help Brown, who was suspended upside down after his vehicle rolled. Brown shot the officer nearly a dozen times. Allen is the first Southport officer to be killed in the line of duty. Brown was convicted in February after a 6-day trial. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence weighs in on the political impact of a possible Supreme Court move on abortion. Pence spoke yesterday at a benefit for a crisis pregnancy center in South Carolina. He predicted anti-abortion candidates will benefit from the leaked draft that says the justices are poised to overturn the ruling that secured the right to an abortion.
And let's especially pray that the 5 justices listed in the majority opinion leaked this week will have the courage of their convictions to write a historic law and overturn Roe.
Predictions vary on how many states would impose abortion bans if the court overturns Roe. Most agree several would do so immediately, and others, including Indiana, would do so eventually. In Newton County, where a man is in custody for threatening the Indiana Supreme Court justices, state police arrested David Getz Wednesday after a months-long investigation. ISP says Getz sent threatening emails to the justices and left threatening voicemails to the court. He's now charged with 2 counts of intimidation. Mortgage rates are now at their highest point in more than a decade, up nearly 2 percentage points in 2 months. We spoke to a local realtor about how to approach the change. Joe Clausen says while the numbers may be a shock that may require a different budget, the current numbers are still low compared to earlier years.
You know, you're going to be paying someone's mortgage, whether it's yours or you rent, you're paying someone else's. So, you know, you got to figure out what you can afford. We're not buying, when you buy a $300,000 house, you're not buying $300,000. You're buying a mortgage payment for 30 years.
Some economists predict the mortgage rate jump will cool off the housing market and slow the soaring price of homes. A new study shows Indiana is among the most expensive places in the country to receive health care. The Employers Forum of Indiana published a study. It shows Indiana hospital prices rank 7th highest in the nation. Indiana jumps to 4th for inpatient services and 6th for outpatient services. Earlier this year, the state legislature asked IU Health to address lowering costs. Leaders responded, saying they'll reduce some by 2025. And plans are out for a large new park in Carmel. City leaders got public input last night for Thomas Marcuselli Nature Park. It's slated to go on 63 acres along River Road near 146th Street, directly across the White River from Conner Prairie. The land was initially targeted for homes.
Ultimately, the conversation became, well, maybe this can be a public park because of our expertise in managing natural resource areas. And ultimately, the developer of the Legacy Development agreed with that and donated the property to the park system.
It's planning another public meeting in July, and the Parks Department is using the meetings to make a master plan for the park. Franklin Central Junior and Senior High Schools will have bereavement support services today after the killing of a student. The school district confirmed that the 3rd victim to die from a shooting earlier this week was a student there. We told you yesterday that IMPD said that 3rd person died Wednesday at the hospital. Not long after that, the Marion County coroner identified the victim as 15-year-old Cadelo Reidenbach. Police say they found Reidenbach in critical condition and 2 other men dead inside a vehicle early Tuesday morning near 34th and Caroline. School leaders said in a statement, Franklin Township Schools is deeply saddened by this sudden loss and extends its heartfelt sympathy to the family. Investigators have not released any information about a potential suspect. The chair of the Boone County Republican Party tells ITM8 that a man accused of killing his wife can keep running for township trustee. Andrew Wilhoit is in the Boone County Jail. He was one of the top 3 vote getters in this week's primary election, putting him on the ballot for the general election. He can legally stay on the ballot unless he's convicted.
And, the other thing that we need to make sure that is clear, we are not, he cannot be removed at this point in time unless he chooses to do it voluntarily. He has not been convicted of a felony And until that happens, he can stay in that position.
Will Hoyt filed for office in late January. 2 months later, he was arrested for the murder of his wife, Elizabeth. Wish TV is asked to talk to Will Hoyt at the Boone County Jail. So far, we have not gotten a response. To the war in Ukraine, the wife of a commander at the steel plant in Mariupol says Ukraine's forces refuse to surrender. The Russian military is attacking, trying to get control of the strategic port city. Reports say Russia was able to breach the perimeter yesterday. A few hundred civilians are still believed to be trapped in the city.
Yet again, the Russians have broken their promise of truce and have made it impossible to evacuate civilians.
Russia is showing absolutely no respect whatsoever to their lives.
Russia says there are about 2,000 Ukraine fighters in the plant. And the White House has a long-term plan to refill the U.S. emergency oil reserve. The Department of Energy announced a plan to buy back crude oil. It says the department will look for bids to buy 60 million barrels this fall when prices are hopefully lower. 60 million barrels is about a third of what President Joe Biden released to keep prices down due to the war in Ukraine. This is the first time since the early 2000s the U.S. will buy large amounts of oil for the reserve.
Many of our students and teachers are from Ukraine, and we supported Ukraine. We wholeheartedly supported Ukraine. We felt it's not fair toward them to keep the name.
A longtime local school changes its name because of the war in Ukraine. What was the Russian School of Indiana is now the Heritage School Multicultural Education Center of Indiana. The school was founded nearly 30 years ago in Carmel. It moved entirely online because of the pandemic. It has 11 teachers and more than 100 students from several different countries. Administrators say many students and staff are from Ukraine.
We often had to tell our students who are not Russian that don't worry, we offer classes in English. You don't have to be Russian to attend our school.
The school is collecting donations online to buy clothes and medical supplies for Ukraine. It's also offering an English language class for Ukrainian refugees. Karine Jean-Pierre is the next White House press secretary. She'll take over for Jen Psaki next week when Psaki takes a job in broadcasting. Jean-Pierre will be the first black press secretary and first openly gay person in the role. She served as President Biden's main deputy press secretary since Inauguration Day. He says that she has the talent, experience, and integrity to do the job. Former Defense Secretary Mark Esper says former President Donald Trump wanted to shoot missiles at drug labs in Mexico. That's according to a report from the New York Times. It says Esper wrote in his upcoming book that Trump believed he could wipe out the cartels without the U.S. taking blame. He also claims Trump wanted the military to shoot Black Lives Matter protesters. Esper describes Trump as an unprincipled person who should never have been in public service. Esper's book is set to be published on Tuesday. Regulators are sharply restricting who can get the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The concern is rare but potentially very serious blood clots. The FDA says it should only go to adults who cannot get another version or who specifically ask for the J&J version. Officials say the clotting problem occurs in the first 2 weeks after vaccination. The FDA's vaccine chief says if you got the shot months ago, it won't be an issue. This comes as the World Health Organization reports nearly 15 million deaths related to COVID-19. The agency claims 14.9 million people around the world died either directly or indirectly. That's more than double the current official death toll. The WHO points to the pandemic's impact on hospitals. Many health systems were overwhelmed with COVID patients, so other types of patients weren't able to get medical help. The organization says it cannot yet identify which deaths were direct and which were indirect. Scientists think they may have discovered an unexplored part of West Antarctica. In a new study published in the journal Science, researchers say they found a massive groundwater system hidden deep below the ice sheet. It's the first time they found large amounts of liquid water in the ground below the ice. Scientists hope this will help them learn about how the continent will react to climate crisis. The Justice Department is planning to open a new office focused on climate change. The Office of Environmental Justice is part of the Biden administration's environmental plan. U.S. leaders say the department will work with the communities that are likely to be affected most by changes, which are typically low-income or communities of color. The DOJ says Cynthia Ferguson will lead the office. She's an attorney currently working in the Justice Department's Environment and Natural Resources Division. A mid-flight oops leads to a radical change of plans and an apology to passengers. Virgin Atlantic says the plane had to turn around because a pilot had not completed a final flying test. The airline says it learned about the error 40 minutes into a Monday flight from London to New York City. The airline says the first officer is fully licensed and qualified, but had not finished internal training. The airline says the situation broke no aviation rules but did not meet Virgin's own internal guidelines. A California man was apparently impatient to get off his flight. Police arrested the man for opening the emergency exit, walking out on the wing, then jumping off, all while the plane was moving to the gate. It happened on a United flight from San Diego just after 4:30 yesterday morning at O'Hare Airport. He's charged with a misdemeanor for reckless conduct. Today is the kickoff of the newest team in Indianapolis. The Indy 11 women's team hosts its first game. It's also the first game of a brand new league. Indy 11 will face off against Cincinnati's Kings Hammer FC on the pitch tonight. The W League features 44 pre-professional teams across 20 states, making one of the largest pre-professional women's leagues in the country. The United Soccer League will offer women a complete pathway to go from amateur to professional under the USL umbrella. We spoke with the president of the USLW League, Amanda Vandervoort, about the future plans and the direction the league is headed.
Next year, we'll launch the Super League, which is our professional league, which launches in August 2023. So the W League is part of a brand new pathway for women, something that's never existed in soccer before. So it allows all these great athletes and players who play college soccer during the school year to come to Indianapolis in the summer and participate at the highest elite level in the country.
The Indy 11 Women will play 12 games in the regular season matches. 6 are at home, including one at IUPUI's Michael Carroll Stadium. Tonight's match starts at 7 p.m. at Grand Park. If you want to support Indy 11, tickets for the first 5 home matches at the Grand Park Event Center will cost $8 each. Children 3 and younger are free. You can go to wishtv.com for more info and to get your tickets. And the Indiana Fever season begins on the road. The Fever take on the Mystics in D.C. It'll be a new look for the Fever after landing 4 players in the top 10 draft picks last month, a WNBA record, by the way. The team will make its home debut Sunday afternoon at Gamebridge against the L.A. Sparks. And some bad weather makes for a doubleheader night at Victory Field. We are proud to be your home for the Indianapolis Indians. Last night's game against the Louisville Bats was suspended in the 9th inning during a tie because of the rain. The game will pick back up tonight at 5:30. Then the regularly scheduled game will follow no earlier than 7:05. You can watch every pitch live on our sister station, Miami TV 23. Our coverage begins at 7. And you can take coolers to the Snake Pit after all. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is reversing the ban announced in February, saying extra space added to the concert area allows for the change. There's still a size limit, 18 inches by 14 inches by 14 inches, and the yellow shirts will check them when you go in. The track promises complimentary hydration stations for concert fans. This year's Snake Pit lineup includes Martin Garrix, Deadmau5, Galantis, Steve Aoki, and Yellow Claw. This is the last day of rest before Central Indiana's most popular run. More than 20,000 people are signed up for the 500 Festival Mini Marathon, or 5K. It starts at 7 in the morning. The starting line is on Washington Street on the northwest side of the JW Marriott. A post-race party goes until 2 in the afternoon at Military Park. The party is free and open to all. And to Colts Watch, a piece of music history is up for sale to help the Irsay family's mental health campaign. An auction house is selling Kurt Cobain's guitar from the Smells Like Teen Spirit video. It's a 1969 Fender and one of several items from the late Nirvana frontman up for bid. The auction is through Julian's, closes May 20th. Part of the proceeds will go toward Kicking the Stigma, the Irsay's initiative to raise awareness about mental health disorders. And as we head into Mother's Day weekend, according to Finance Buzz, Americans plan to spend $31.7 billion on Mother's Day this year. This figure is up $3.6 billion from the previous year. So hopefully you're all prepared, and all you moms out there, I hope you have a lovely, wonderful, and relaxed Mother's Day. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com. And follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.